So today I want to add a sales order and then run the main MRP report to see how that functions. So if I go into sales, add SO, I'm going to pick my one and only customer, Mike's Custom Bicycle Shop. And let's just say he gave me a PO 21-10307, and I can add the order. So this is the next field you come to, and down here below is where you enter in what the order is for. We have only the one assembly. It's pretty easy. Let's go for 10 pieces this time. You can either hit the return key here, or you have to hit this plus button, or you will lose the content, but I'll just hit the return key. So here we have the initial sales order being created, and it has defaults to today's date, and I'm going to accept that for the purpose of just demonstrating how this is going to tie into the MRP. And again, as I've mentioned in prior demonstrations, you can see here that we have ourselves listed as the manufacturer, and we have our part number, our job number right here, so that'll automatically be tagged onto this. And so we're going to add in the price. Let's say it's still $250 a piece, and hit OK. Hit update, and the sales order is now created. Now, it has to be approved or will not be seen by MRP. I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Approve yes. Okay, and now we have an open and approved sales order for 10 pieces of our wheel assembly. And if we go now to the main MRP report, which is located here, there are a lot of different settings on this, and I don't want to try to get into all of that at the moment. Bottom line is that we're looking for shortages at this present time, and so what we're going to do is just going to run the report and essentially see what it tells us as far as checking every part in the system. And lo and behold, here's our wheel assembly, and it's showing that we have must order 10 pieces, and it's showing you the reason why. The sales order down here is for 10 pieces due today, and that is driving the demand. So we are short to 10, and what you'll probably notice is that there are no components yet. And the reason for that is until we satisfy the demand of the sales order here, and we actually create a work order to offset this demand for the 10 pieces of the sales order, we're not going to be able to drive the components because they haven't been assigned to the work order yet. A nice feature you have both back here on the sales order, and you can do it through a worksheet in MRP, but you can copy this. If you look down here, it's copied to a work order. The default is us, and we say copy, and we're including the manufacturing part number as you see there. And so essentially now we have our work order, and it's tied in automatically to the sales order that we used just now to create it. And so everything is tied together nicely. And by updating that, here we have work order 21-0002, and it's for the 10 pieces of that wheel assembly. If you'll also notice, it's automatically assigned the work instruction that is the default work instruction available for this part number. And over here, it's not approved yet, the work order. And so until it's approved, it's not going to allow us to set it up. Basically, what setting it up is adding the bill of material, which is going to create the part detail of the work order. So I'm going to go ahead and approve this. And now you can see this has been highlighted in blue. If you looked at part detail, there is none yet. But we hit the setup button, and now it's showing us the bill of material that is the one on record for this part. And so that looks all good. We're going to say down here, it says set up work order. We set it up. And now if we look at the part detail again, or it actually goes right into part detail. And so as you can see here, now we have the demand for these different parts that are used to produce this end item assembly. And the quantity required in total is listed right here. Issued, of course, at this point is nothing. On hand is maybe one straggler we have here on a rim that I think I mentioned in a previous demonstration. Other than that, we are short these parts. So if we go now and run MRP again, And again, just looking for shortages. Now what you're going to find is all of the parts. There are actually more records than 5. It's somehow, I don't know why it defaults to 5. I just upped it to 20 to make sure I capture all the records. And here we have the axles. We have the nuts, the rims, the spokes, etc. And we actually have the outside processing as well, because when I ran MRP, I could have selected just for part/assembly or type PA part, but in fact, I just let it run for all, and so I wound up getting the outside processing as well. If I'd have selected strictly P&A at this point, that's what it would have showed me. So now, just taking one of these parts as an example, I can add the axle to a PO worksheet. Add current page selected item. And here you go into the worksheet. It shows me the previous vendor, V001, parts are us, previous price, so forth. And I have make PO. Come down here to the bottom and hit make PO. So here I have PO 210007 with all the information automatically filled in. However, I have to also approve it, so I will do so. And now that we have an approved order, if I go back and run MRP again, we will no longer see the record for the axle because the demand has been satisfied. And so there you have it. Sales order entry copied to a work order driving component demand, and issuing a purchase order for one of the parts to satisfy that demand. And that concludes this presentation on running the Main MRP report. Thanks for watching.